I want to bring Congressman Buddy Carter in right now. Congressman Carter, Republican from the state of Georgia. It's good to see you, sir, which was under better circumstances. Caitlin was talking about the governor's comments and, saying essentially, as I said at the top of the show, that this the suspect in this case kind of slipped through the cracks when it comes to immigration policy. What would you say?
Oh, I have to agree, and I have to tell you, this should have never happened. Should have never happened. This is an illegal alien who came into this country in 2022, was recently arrested in New York City in September 14th, and for acting in a way to endanger the life of a child. This should have never happened. Let me be very clear about this. The responsibility of this terrible tragedy is clearly on the shoulders of Joe Biden and his administration for allowing this border to be open like this. Every city is a border city now. Every state is a border state. I was just at a luncheon, an exchange club luncheon. A father came up to me and he said that his daughter, 13 weeks pregnant, last night was involved in an auto crash. Someone rear-ended her. It was an illegal alien, drunk, with an open container in his car. And as soon as it happened, he comes up and knocks on the window saying, "No police, no police, no license, no license." This is a tragedy that should have never happened. Laken Riley was a wonderful young lady from everything that we've seen. I texted with the father yesterday, and just a great family, and had dedicated herself to being a nurse, to helping people. And now she's no longer with us.
Anything else you can share from your exchange with her dad, or?
Well, as you can imagine, it is particularly difficult for her mother. Evidently, she and her mother were very, very close, as her father described it, and he's doing everything he can to support the mother right now. Okay,
on immigration policy, you brought it up. The governor talked about it earlier. Similar phraseology to what you used, that every state, every city is now a border city, is a border state. So, there's a couple of ways of looking at this. One, would you say that more should be done at the federal level? Was there some missing pieces as well, maybe whether it was in New York or even in Georgia from local authorities along the way as well, do you think?
Well, there is. Athens, Georgia is a sanctuary city. New York City is a sanctuary city where he was arrested back in September of last year. That just invites illegals into the city and into the university city, our flagship university here in our state of Georgia, where I went to school, where my children went to school, my sons went to school there, and we've got so many students there, and yet the city council and the authorities there are welcoming them in. This is something that's got to stop. We cannot let this happen in our country. And the administration has the ability to stop this. Joe Biden could stop this. We passed in the House H.R. 2, which is the most comprehensive border bill that there is out there. And if we could get the Senate to take that up, then we could end much of this. But let me be clear, the president can end this. He can end this himself.
But as you know, the other bill that was agreed to, they had the agreement in the Senate, which had everything combined into one. That did have a lot of the border measures you Republicans were pushing for in it, and it was the Republicans that kind of pushed back on that.
Well, but it had other things in it, too. So I think you're apples and oranges here. H.R. 2 is the perfect border bill. If the Senate were to take up H.R. 2, then we would not have this problem. And again, this administration, if they would simply end the catch and release program, if they would simply reinstate the Remain in Mexico policy, if they would simply finish the construction of that wall, then we can end all this, and the administration can do that.
Well, I have a lot of time to keep talking about these issues. Boy, we've been talking about it for years and years anyway. Both President Biden, former President Trump at the border later this week on Thursday. Congressman, thank you for coming on. And as I say, terrible circumstances, but thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Congressman Buddy Carter there from Georgia. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.